Today, I'm going to be playing Arch Manning's entire college football career. Arch is a 5-star QB commit to Texas in the class of 2023. Many people rank him as the number 1 QB in his class, however, many disagree and only think it's because of the hype around his last name. So without further ado, will Arch be able to live up to the legacy and hype behind his last name? Arch started off his freshman year sitting on the bench. The only time he was able to see the field is when he was assigned to hold the kicker's balls. Even though he really enjoyed this job, he still wanted more. This caused Arch to work hard during practice any chance he could get. Even after his hard work though, it was game after game that he didn't see the field. And to make it even worse, the starting quarterback was leading Texas to a good season so far. That meant he would probably see very little playing time his freshman year. But Arch used that as motivation to work even harder. Along with working hard in practice, he was doing a great job at holding the kicker's balls. It wasn't until week 10 where Arch would see the field against 0-7 Kansas. Texas was up 38-7, so he finally gave Arch a chance. However, coach did not trust him enough to let him throw the ball. Arch was upset, but he kept his head high as he knew his chance would come if he continued to work hard. Arch was so excited though as he finally did something other than hold the kicker's balls. However, Arch did not see the field the rest of the season, although Texas did fall apart towards the end of the season as they went 6-6 and lost their final bowl game to Wisconsin. Arch saw this as an opportunity, so in week 2 of his sophomore season, he was given the opportunity to take over as QB1. But before he could be QB1, he had a position battle to win. And oh boy, did it show that he wanted this spot. He came out and proved to coach that he deserved the number 1 QB spot on the team. Can't forget to mention this crazy one-handed catch made by Worthy. And just like that, in week 3, Arch was finally starting in his first college game against UCLA. However, Arch was nervous as this was his first game starting, and he threw the ball straight to UCLA, and they took this back for 6 points. Arch wanted to bounce back after that, so he threw a huge pass to receiver Jaden Alexis for a 26-yard reception. However, this drive would result in a turnover on 4th down. It wasn't until the second quarter where Arch was able to make a huge pass to Xavier Worthy for his first college touchdown. However, Texas was going to fall short to UCLA, and just to rub it in, Arch threw another interception that almost went for a pick 6. Arch felt terrible as he felt like he cost his team the win. So in his next game, he wanted to play a lot better against 2-0 Kansas. Coach didn't trust Arch yet, so he kept running the ball. However, this game, Arch was starting to get into this, and he was starting to make some great plays to get his team down the field. Xavier Worthy quickly became one of his favorite receivers to throw the ball to. Arch was looking for his first passing touchdown of the game, so when he saw Xavier Worthy wide open in the end zone, he decided to throw the ball to him and went for a perfect pass. However, he was still struggling, and it showed as he threw a bad interception in the 4th quarter. Despite that, Arch has led his team to his first starting victory. However, this would not last as Texas was about to lose to West Virginia ranked number 18. However, Arch made a huge play for 40 yards here. Even though Texas was losing once again to number 14 ranked Oklahoma, Arch was able to make a nice rushing touchdown here. This play right here was Arch's best play so far as he sent a deep ball to receiver Jaden Alexis and he absolutely mossed the defender for the touchdown. However, Texas would still fall short. The next game, Arch had 1 minute and 47 seconds to bring his team down the field to get a touchdown or a field goal to win this game over TCU. However, he fell short and this ultimately led TCU to getting the win over Texas. This season did not go to plan as Texas was 5-6 going into the game against Texas Tech. Arch started off this game the worst way possible as he threw a terrible interception that ended up going for a pick 6. Check out this absolutely inhuman catch as Xavier Worthy catches the ball as the defender swats it to the ground. However, Arch ended up throwing another terrible interception straight to the Texas Tech cornerback. This game just ended up being another terrible loss, and this ended up being a bust of a season. After not even making a bowl game last season, Arch wanted to have a great season with Texas this year. We started off the season against Notre Dame. However, Arch threw an interception. Can't believe this. He going back to his old ways. And guess what? This went for a pick 6 as well. Arch wanted his first touchdown of the season. And even though he saw a wide open receiver in the end zone, he took this one for himself. This game was not going to plan and Arch was feeling very flustered. So again, he threw another terrible interception. Arch lost badly in his first game and he needed to step it up if he wanted to get anywhere. In game number 2 against Rice, it looks like Texas was barely going to squeak away with the win. However, they should have gotten this by a lot. Arch ran through the rest of the clock and they got their first win of the season. Game 3 was against 2-1 ISU. It was the second quarter and Texas had still not scored any points. It was the third quarter and Arch finally delivered a beautiful pass to receiver Gunnar Helm for an almost touchdown. This led to Texas finally getting on the board. Arch led his team once again into the red zone, which led to another Texas touchdown. Defense got a stop, and Arch got the ball, ran out the clock, which led Texas to getting win 2 of the season. Their next game against California, they ended up getting the win even better this time. Their next game would be tough, however, against undefeated Oklahoma. In the 4th quarter, Texas was miraculously beating Oklahoma 28-23, and Arch pulled up a huge run. Look at this. I thought he was going in for the end zone. That play set up Arch for a beautiful pass to Xavier Worthy for a 25-yard touchdown. And that would be enough for the crazy win over Oklahoma. They were no longer undefeated. Their next game against TCU, however, did not go as well as Arch was stopped just short of the end zone. And by that point, it was too late. They lost the game 30-38. Texas was still 7-2, which was so much better than last season. Up against Oklahoma State, Arch was able to pull off this crazy lateral option play to Caleb Allen for the 8-yard touchdown run. On 3rd and 1, check out this crazy play Arch was able to create, and Helm was able to take this ball all the way down the field, looking almost unstoppable. Then the very next play, Arch was able to pull off this huge throw to Jordan Whittington for a 22-yard touchdown. Arch was not stopping as he led his team to a super dominant win over Oklahoma State. Things, however, didn't carry over to their game against West Virginia as they were down by 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter. Arch wanted to get his team back into this game fast. This game would not end well for Arch, however, as he threw another terrible interception that would finally put this game to the end. However, let's move past that as Arch was able to bring his team to a bowl game. However, Texas was down 30-24 with only 2 minutes left in the 4th quarter, and in typical Arch Manning fashion, he threw an interception to end this game. Arch was super disappointed after this loss, however, he would come back strong next year, he told himself. Starting off his senior season, they were once again playing Notre Dame for the first game. Arch and his team were down by 14 in just the 1st quarter, so Arch decided to get something going here. He was so close to the end zone there, so on 3rd and goal, when he got stopped, he was so sad. He was so close to the end zone. This game was going so terribly so far, so Arch decided to take things into his own hands, and he rushed into the end zone for a solid touchdown. Arch was given another chance to get on the board here, and he did just that as he passed the ball for a 2-yard touchdown. Arch wasn't even done yet, and he wanted to put this game away for good as he got another touchdown. Arch led his team to a crazy comeback victory against Notre Dame. In game number 2 against California, check out this crazy running pass Arch was able to make to his wide open receiver for a touchdown. And Arch led his team to another easy win over California. Their next game against UTEP went very well as it looked like they were going to get that shutout against UTEP, and Arch pulled off another crazy run. Texas was now 3-0. Arch wanted to remain undefeated, so he balled out this next game against ISU. He made a perfect pass to James Roberts for the 14-yard touchdown. Him and James Roberts were unstoppable this game as he hit him for another huge gain. Arch loved any chance he could run the ball himself, and look at this absolutely insane play he made. This was definitely on the top of his highlight reel as he pulled this in for a 30-yard touchdown run. Arch and his running backs were unstoppable in the option play as they pulled in another touchdown. They ran down the rest of the clock, and they were able to get the win over ISU and remain undefeated. It was now time to play against once again undefeated Oklahoma. And to start off any big game, in typical Arch Manning fashion, he threw a huge interception that almost went for another pick 6. It was clear that that first interception startled Arch, and he threw another one. I can't believe this right now. He is choking this game. Arch clearly just needed to stop throwing the ball as he was about to throw his 3rd interception of the game. And well, I think it's safe to say that any draft stock that Arch Manning had was officially down the drain after this game. He finally pulled off a decent pass here for a touchdown, but it was far little too late. It was known that only one team would leave here undefeated still, and that was Oklahoma. Arch and his team were upset after that loss against Oklahoma, so they blew the doors off Texas Tech, and look at this insane run made by the running back as he almost got into the end zone, but he got caught by the shoelace. Roberts was an absolute mad lad as he was practically unstoppable. I mean, look at this. He blew through 5 defenders right there. Arch finished out this game with one last touchdown just to rub it in even more. Arch's next game was against TCU, who hadn't won a single game this year. However, TCU was up by 4 points in the 4th quarter, so Arch needed a touchdown fast, and just like that, he ran this one in the end zone for himself. However, he left too much time on the clock, and TCU somehow got another touchdown, and this game was over. Arch's dreams of being a national champion were most likely gone, however, he still wanted to finish this season hard. However, Texas was really struggling against Kansas here. Thankfully, Arch made another amazing running pass play, and his receiver Braden Liebrock took this into the end zone. Arch wanted to settle this game once and for all, so look at this amazing run he pulled off. He was unstoppable at some points. Texas got the field goal in the end and won over Kansas. And in his next game against Baylor, it looked like he was going to barely squeak away with the win here. Arch made sure to take in one last touchdown for himself at the very end of the game. On 3rd and 4, however, against West Virginia, Arch and Texas got stopped, which set West Virginia up for getting the win over Texas. Arch's final regular season game was up against 8-3 Kansas State. Down by 7 in the 2nd quarter, Arch wanted to get back in this game, so he found wide open Whittington, who almost took this into the end zone. Arch then wasted no time and got got right into the end zone for a 4-yard run. On another option play, Arch was once again able to run this into the end zone. Arch was so happy as he barely snuck away with the win here over Kansas State. Arch's final game of his college career was the Cotton Bowl against Michigan State. Arch wanted to get on the board first here as he found Jordan Whittington wide open once again, and he took this into the end zone. Arch had the chance here to get his team up by 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, so he ran the ball himself and he took this into the end zone. However, Michigan State came back like it was nothing, and in the third quarter they were down by 4. However, Arch got another touchdown. Arch had a money drive here as it was the fourth quarter with only 1 minute left in the game and they were down by 4. Arch's coach called a run play on 3rd and 10 and they got stopped for no yards. Arch had to clutch up here on 4th down, and thank God he did because he got the first down. He then found Braden Liebrock once again wide open as he got a huge gain. There was only 15 seconds left in the game. Arch needed a miracle and he found wide open Troy Amir for a 39-yard touchdown. No way. That last play came straight out of a script, and Arch Manning finally won 1 bowl game in his college career. He was so happy.